Ascended Master Instruction by the Ascended Master Saint Germain, through Godfre Ray King. Discourse 1. The New Cycle. Many will have learned that they cannot rule humanity with a ruthless hand, for they are seeing that the inroad of control which they had desired to gain over others is returning to themselves for redemption. If this lesson can be impressed upon them sufficiently, a great calamity will have been averted. In this quickening period, things can be done in the short period of 20 years that would ordinarily require 100 years. Every effort is being made to avoid as much destructive activity as possible throughout the world. In the fullness of my love, Saint Germain. Peace, peace, and on earth goodwill to man. Arcturus. Discourse 2. The human element, or outer sphere of mankind, is the only element in creation that deliberately creates inharmony and consciously misuses the energy of the gods sustaining it. Humanity has tried to place upon God the responsibility for its destructive activities. Hence, the ruse of manufacturing gods who could be either angry or joyous according to mankind's whim. As is the case in all seeming struggles between two forces, so in the conditions of today, they are but the old conditions being repeated. And out of it all will come, for the first time on earth, a permanently established condition and right attitude of mind in the outer activity of humanity. Discourse 10. No matter what any mortal may seem to manifest, hold fast always to the fact that the omnipresent mighty God and his chosen messengers govern the earth and its inhabitants, in spite of any seeming appearance to the contrary. The God of light, love, wisdom, and power is anchored within your lives, within your world, and is the conquering, silencing, supplying, invincible presence and power. Know this and be at peace. Unveiled Mysteries by Godfre Ray King. Because the selfishness within the commercial world at the present time makes it the height of folly to let humanity waste more of nature's gifts. God and nature bestow their wealth lavishly upon the earth for the use and blessing of the souls who incarnate there. But the selfishness and lust for power within the feelings of mankind make them forget the higher way of life and cause man's inhumanity to man. The few who rise to control of the mass should have the intelligence to know that what helps the mass helps the individual most. But if they refuse to recognize this law, self-destruction follows, brought about by their own selfishness. Selfishness and the feeling of power to control others blind the reason and dull the perception of the outer mind to its own dangers. And such individuals ride headlong to ruin in every case, ruin spiritually, mentally, morally, and physically, extending many times into the third and fourth embodiment following. Only light can raise the individual above selfishness. Only when mankind rises out of the mire of its own selfishness and lust in all its forms can human beings be entrusted with all that God and nature hold ready for right use. But any individual, as he cleanses himself of his own selfishness and lust, may have the fullest use of all these riches, when he will use them harmoniously and for the blessing of others. Individuals can make themselves ready to be custodians of these gifts, For in the age that is already ushered in, only those will have unlimited use of wealth who have made themselves worthy to be trusted keepers and dispensers of this treasure. God and nature provide these gifts for man to use rightly, and right use alone is the condition on which they may be received. Saint Germain crossed his hands upon his chest and continued, Mighty God, enter so firmly into the hearts of thy children that they want only thee. Then none shall want for any of thy great gifts. Unveiled Mysteries by Godfre Ray King. As I meditated each day upon the great God-presence within for my coming service, I realized more and more how important it is to keep the attention focused upon that presence only, no matter what appearances seem to indicate, in order to keep any outer condition from affecting me. In one of Saint Germain's conversations, he had stressed particularly the all-importance of keeping my outer self harmonious, and in regard to this had said, My son, you cannot realize how very great is the necessity for harmony in the outer self, if the fullness of the inner perfection and power is to be expressed in your outer life. The importance of keeping a feeling of peace, love, and serenity in the personal self cannot be emphasized too strongly, for when this is done, the mighty God-presence within can act without limit in an instant. The continual outpouring of a feeling of peace and divine love to every person and everything unconditionally, no matter whether you think it be deserved or not, is the magic key that unlocks the door and releases instantly this tremendous inner God power. Fortunate indeed is he who has learned this law, for he then seeks to be all peace and love. Without it, humanity has nothing good, and with it they have all things perfect. Harmony is the keynote, the one great law of life. Upon it rests all perfect manifestation, and without it all form disintegrates and returns into the great sea of universal light. Unveiled Mysteries by Godfre Ray King. All will be done by the power of God-love, and humanity will truly begin to realize that it is the height of folly for one part of God's creation to war against another part. No matter what the activities in the world without, walk with the light and in the light, regardless of appearances. He who walks the pathway of light stands true to the Christ and looks always Godward, lives in a world of his own, untouched by the seething vortex about him, yet ever working in it while the shadows last. These he turns his light upon, and thus compels them to pass into the sea of forgetfulness.
Dr. Martin Luther King said that we're all caught in an inescapable web of mutuality. What affects one of us affects all of us. In light of that view, that we're all connected on the planet, what would you recommend as some first steps for people of different races and backgrounds to begin to close the gap of racism and bigotry and that we're in right now? How would you see individuals beginning to close those gaps?
I think you have to wake up to the fact that everything is connected to everything else, that safety, well-being, cannot be individual matters anymore. If they are not safe, there's no way that we can be safe. So taking care of their safety is at the same time taking care of our own safety. Taking care of their well-being is to take care of our own well-being. It is the mind of discrimination, separation, that is at the foundation of all violence and hate. My right hand, has written all the poems that I composed. My left hand has not written any poem, but my right hand does not think that left hand you are good for nothing. My right hand does not have the complex of superiority at all. That is why it is very happy. And my left hand does not have any complex at all, including the complex of inferiority. So in my two hands, there is a kind of wisdom called wisdom of non-discrimination. And when one day I remember I was driving a nail, and my right hand was not very firm. Instead of pounding on the nail, it pounded on the finger. It put the hammer down, and it took care of the right and the left hand in a very tender way, as if it takes care of itself. And it does not say, you left hand, you know that the right hand, has taken good care of you, and you have to remember that, you have to pay back sometime in the future. There's no such a thinking. And my left hand does not say like this, the right hand has done me a lot of harm. Give me that hammer. I want justice. Because the two hands know that they are together, they are in each other's.
All will be done by the power of God love, and humanity will truly begin to realize that it is the height of folly for one part of God's creation to war against another part.